Whoops. Cancel. Ain't nobody called no doggone Siri. Siri get on my nerve anyway. Half time when I call her, she want to send me over to her boyfriend Chat GPT or Chat GPT. There we go. I'm sick of that mess. I want to break up with Siri and her boyfriend. Hot chat, 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 chat. Oh my gosh, I need somebody to save me from myself. A simple move, never basic. Have you ever started setting boundaries for yourself, not accepting some of the stuff that maybe you used to accept, or even not even doing some of the stuff that you used to do, and you found that people started saying you changed? I had a similar situation like that. I've actually had it quite a few points in my life, but here recently I went to tonight's conversation. I ended up running into somebody I hadn't seen in a long time. And she was like, "What happened to you? Like, I remember you just kind of changed. You started going to school or whatever, and you just changed." Mind you now, this was one of the people I had seen in the aisle twerking. Nothing wrong with twerking. I actually know how to do it myself. But I just think it's a time and a place for everything, especially when you reach a certain age. And she every bit is older. She might even be a year or two older than me. She might even be. I think I'm going to slap a collar or two in the back of my head just in case I feel like going to Walmart. I know, just in case. I'm actually going to Walmart because I want to move the clothes from one closet to another. Like, this closet is full and it's mostly a lot of winter stuff, and I just need to spread some stuff out. I spent probably 5 minutes or so, could have been closer to 10, looking for those shorts that I wore to tonight's conversation, and I had them in here, but I couldn't see them because this little closet area is so full. I want to get some curtains for that room because I've been doing stuff that really doesn't make sense. I took purses out of their dust bag and then I put them in a cute little display. I think I like it anyway. Got my book box from Target. Not a book box, I'm sorry, it's a bookshelf. I got that little bookshelf from Target, you know, when everybody was doing all that before, so I did that. Was it one book box or two book box? Why do I keep saying book box? I'm trying to remember if it was one bookshelf or two bookshelves that I used. It might have been two. That's not tight enough. But I made my little extra closet space or whatever, and I still like it. I just don't use it to its maximum capacity. I've straightened out that room, so my granddaughter was here this weekend. We had a good little time. Just a lot of talking and kind of understanding their mindset, because I keep having to grow my mind with her. To me, she's just still a little baby, but she's on her way to second grade, so she's a whole person. And she has whole people thoughts and all of that. And so Mimi has to let go of the baby phase of her and relish the little time I got. She's talking about driving with her friends and all those other things. And she still at the same time knows that she's little. Everything in her mind is going to be magical when she becomes a grown-up. And I tell you, it ain't. This grown-up stuff, this ain't what it's all cracked up to be. Okay, this is the room I was talking about. She's got some books and stuff that she hasn't put away. But guess who else got some stuff she ain't put away? So I've got things that I need to straighten up and kind of get together as well for my little desk area. But this is what I was really talking about over here, this little closet area. And yeah, I feel like I did get a couple of bookshelves from Target and then put them together and came up with this little organization, this closet organization, because I was really out of places to put my purses. But what I was talking about is silly is how I took the purses out of their dust bags and they're just in here. Well, I don't have a curtain on that window, so I'm gonna go ahead and get some curtains. hair moisturizer. Oh, I need bleach. Oh, hangers. I think that's about it for now. But it's Walmart, so you know we're gonna find more stuff to give when we get there. When did bleach go up to $8? Like what? 3.78 ounces. But the lemon scented is 3.78 ounces. It also kills COVID germs and all. Now, girl, I have never bought lemon scented, but I better buy it today. It's just a time and a place for everything. And she was like, yeah, you changed. She said, made a point of saying it twice. And then somebody else that we had all gone to school together came. She said, come here, come here. And I was like, dang, y'all still hanging out? They probably still hanging out doing the same old thing that they've been doing for the longest. And ain't nothing wrong with it if it's working. But I don't know. The way they looked, it looked like it wouldn't work for me. I'm going to just say that. They look like they've been through some things. And despite the fact that we're around the same age, we doing different stuff. They look pretty worn out. Like, I'm not trying to drag them or nothing, but they honestly look like they have lived a hard life. You know how sometimes that can just show on a person? And I'm not talking about just the gold teeth and all that. I'm talking about it just in general. Look like they had lived a pretty hard life. And I don't know, it kind of stayed with me. So I was talking to another girlfriend of mine today. And I was like, you remember so-and-so and such and such? And she said, yeah, I do. I do remember them. Yeah. I was like, so whatever happened with them? Because I know she was more in touch with the neighborhood than I was. And she wound up telling me the one who first approached me, she's got a few kids and a few baby daddies, and she has lived a hard life. She looked like exactly what she had been through. And the other one had sat down for a couple of years behind her baby's father. He was selling drugs and stuff. He got caught up in the house. Her kids got taken away for a brief period. Her mother raised, like, they had really been through a hard time. And I remember thinking while we were talking, I said, yeah, there but by the grace of God. You know, I don't know. It's hard for me to judge people because I know I'm just scratching and itching. I swear it's probably psychological. I be that person that want to sit outside, but then usually bugs do come to me, but as I'm looking at my legs and stuff, I don't see any. It's just my imagination. Kymberly, calm down. You say that and you're still reaching and rubbing. But I always say, there but by the grace of God go I. Even when I was little though, there were some differences, but for the most part, I grew up in the same circumstance, same environment, hearing the same old stuff. To us, like, there were older girls, the older teenage girls would even talk about how having a baby helped you out, helped your circumstance, and you could get assistance. And like, nobody of the older teenage group was talking about going to college, was talking about opening your own business or scholarships or doing well in school. Like, nobody that I grew up with was talking about anything like that. Now I see this bug. This ain't my imagination. Go on now. Get. Think I got it. Got me worried about my drink. But no, nobody was talking about uplifting ourselves and doing different things like that. No, I mean, nobody. Not one person. Even in school, a lot of my teachers weren't discussing college and beyond. Now, granted, we were young. We weren't in high school yet. But that's not an excuse, because to my kids, I still talk about, yeah, you're going to go to first grade and then one day you're going to go to this place called college. I talk about that now to kindergartners. I'm already starting to put ideas like that in their head. Will they all go? No. Hopefully some of them will be entrepreneurs and, bloggers. Who knows what they'll be. But I just feel like I feel like if nobody ever says those words or starts introducing those ideas and concepts, then everybody's just going to stay in the same old thing, in the same old circumstance, doing the same old stuff. And I want more. And I've always wanted more. Even when I was little, I wanted more. I remember I would go out and I would play with my friends, but that would get old for a while. After a while, we weren't just sitting outside all the time talking about, there go my car, that's my car, because after a while, some of the cars started looking the same. I want a different car. I want something else, like I just remember feeling that way. And I remember that girl in particular, she would laugh at me sometimes because I always had a book. It wasn't audio books then, and sure wasn't on my phone. I didn't have a phone like that. But I always had a book. And not only did I have a book, but I didn't even have Post-its yet. I would later get Post-its and do it. But I would have a piece of paper because a lot of times I might hear a new word in the book and I'm writing that word down like, oh, I got a new word to add to my vocabulary or something. And that particular girl talked about me up, down, and sideways for having that. She would always kind of say it here she got with her book, girl. Here she got with, I was like, yeah, so what about it? Like, what's up? And she, girl, I'm just playing. Anytime you would challenge her on something, I remember she was, girl, I'm just playing. Girl, I just, whatever. But when she came up to me at tonight's conversation, I was like, this girl was never playing. She was just never wanting to see different and didn't want me to see different either. Like, it's just weird. I don't know. Whether you call it healing or you call it growing, whenever you start transitioning in any of those ways, it ends up changing your relationships. It changes how people see you, how they talk to you, or even how they talk about you. It changes whether or not they include you and stuff. It changes a lot of things. And, we all know the one constant in life is change. So there's nothing wrong with change, but it's weird how people use the term. It's weird how people try to turn it on you. Because I remember wondering, like, dang, am I changing? Am I different? I don't feel different. I want different stuff. And I know I got to do things differently. And I guess I am changing. Like, it'll really make you come back and start questioning yourself. And I just feel like, so what? What's wrong with that? I did change, and I thank God I changed, because a lot of people, like, they meet you in a certain place in space. They may meet you, what do they call that? Trauma bonding. They might meet you at a certain kind of trauma. You may not have been a healed person yet, and they met you when you were on a come up, or they met you when you were nowhere near healed, didn't even know something was wrong with you. They might have met you then. And they just feel like whoever you were in that space and place is who you need to be. Because maybe they haven't healed or they haven't grown from that yet. And so they can't fathom or imagine you changing and growing. And even in some ways, I feel like they might even think it's a judgment or a condemnation against them. Like, yeah, I've changed. You haven't. And it's not. It's just a matter of I've changed. Ask me how, ask me what, ask me why. I'm that person, I'll tell you. Like, I'm not even gatekeeping on that. Yeah, I changed. I changed for this reason. Like I said, I want to be in that room. What are those people over there doing? Oh, they doing that? They going to that kind of function? They taking trips like that? They going places like there? Oh, okay. They talking about different things and more interesting things. They got more insight. They've learned. I want to do that. That's what I want to do. And then it even came to a point where I was like, if whatever I found that was hindering me, sometimes it might even be my vocabulary and my experiences and stuff. I wanted new vocabulary. I wanted new experiences. Yes, 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 yes. And I remember this same girl, I'm telling you, when I say we were friends, or at least I thought we were. But I remember her talking about how even the way you talk now, you talk like a white girl. Girl, I don't think anybody would close their eyes, look at me, and say, ooh, she sounds just like a white girl. No, ain't nobody doing that. But what she was talking about was my vocabulary had changed. It was growing and expanding and all of that stuff. I wasn't talking about not only even that, but even the stuff I was interested in talking about. I wasn't talking about the same old stuff no more. I wasn't talking about how so and so did me wrong and I don't like them and that's why I don't fool with them and I blah, blah, blah. All of that gets old quick. All right, you don't fool with them, then why talk about them? Move on. I just feel like growth growth is supposed to change you. Healing is supposed to change you. When you become a healthier person, you ought to have different stuff to talk about. You ought to sound new, different, and improved. If not, you probably haven't healed yet. If you really trying to hold on to the person you were while growing and healing at the same time, but you got to keep it real and you're not healed. You're still accommodating. You're a different kind of yes person. You know what I mean? Like, because sometimes you gotta say no to the stuff you used to do. No to all that trauma bonding and all that old negative talking, even if it's gossip. You gotta say no to that. And you gotta move forward and grow. Like, I don't know about you, but I've done stuff that I want to be forgiven for. So, yeah, I'm forgiving people for stuff they've done too. That's part of moving on. Some people don't want you to do that. They want you to just, yeah, we don't fool with them. We still don't. We. And once you start moving on, then they feel like they're left by themselves. But maybe they should be. Maybe you should leave them right there where you found them, in trauma. Maybe you should leave them right there where you found them, in negativity. Leave them right there where you used to be. You ain't got to stay there. Like, it's just important to me to grow. I'll never understand somebody trying to hold other people back. If anything, I'm watching to see how are they moving forward. How do they do that? Take me through that. Take me through. Let me not start. I feel like when you start healing and you start becoming a better person, it starts exposing whatever friendships you had. You know what I mean? Like, if it was a healthy friendship in the first place, then it's going to be able to survive growth. If it was a positive, healthy friendship, it'll survive your growth. Not only that, but it's actually going to promote it and it's going to grow with it. If it wasn't, then yeah, that's something you need to leave that behind anyway. It wasn't healthy. And you're healing, right? You're healing and growing. So you want to be healthy? Leave that behind. It wasn't healthy. And a lot of times, please understand the stuff I'm saying. I promise I'm not preaching or teaching or saying it to you. I'm saying it to us. Because I feel like I can't be the only one. I don't think I'm that unique, that new, that different, that I'm the only one. This is so doggone good. I gotta watch how I drink it. I gotta watch how I drink it. It's so good. It's that drink with the lychee puree and a Monaco, which they say has 2 shots in it. Maybe that's why I'm in my loose lip era right now. I'm doing all this talking. Yeah, I'm convinced. There ain't no buzz on me. I'm just tripping. I feel like Smokey. I don't know. I guess I was just saying that, like I said, healthy relationships, they can grow, but the unhealthy ones, they rely on some kind of imbalance. Like, they rely on you giving too much or you surrendering your desires for the comfort of somebody else, or you always have to be in that dynamic of being a giver to their taker. Like, they'll take you at your unhealthy, they'll take you at your unhealed, they'll take you at your vulnerable and all of that other stuff. But when you start showing strength, that you start showing that you want to elevate, you want to be a better person and stuff, people get uncomfortable. They do. They really do. I ain't telling you what I think, I'm telling you what I know. People get uncomfortable. And the thing I hope we all do is I hope we get comfortable with them being uncomfortable. Become the person you want to be, even if other people don't like it. Become the person you want to be, even if they don't understand it. Become the person you want to be, even if it means you got to leave some of those other people behind. Because like I said, it's the healthy relationships that'll go and grow with you. Leave that unhealthy stuff behind. If I got to talk more ghetto and I gotta say certain words for you to be cool and comfortable with me, then move around me. Go and move around me. Like I promise you, I'm cool with that. And I didn't even mention that part. But when she came over, I'm still talking about the chick that changed. I should have just given her a name. But when she came over talking about change, she was like, "Yeah, you was that one MNF." And like, I don't think I don't think I've ever been called an MNF in my life. I've been called a whole lot of things, and some of them was accurate. but I don't think I ever been called that. But yeah, she was talking about it was just a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot. And I'm talking about it not because it bothered me, but because it made me feel better to know that, like I said before, there but by the grace of God go I. There is no part of me that believes that lady cares about me for real. She doesn't. She cares about having company. And you know what they say about misery? Misery loves that kind of company. But honestly, joy does too. When I'm happy, and I am, but as I'm happy, I want everyone around me to be happy. I want everyone around me to know what I know. I'm telling it. That's why I said ain't no gatekeeping. I'm telling it. I'm talking about it. I want people to think about their circumstance. Like, is it good enough? Could it be better? How could you make it better? Like, I want everybody to win. I cannot help myself. Because the next person's win ain't got nothing to do with mine. What's for me is for me. What's for you is for you. I don't know who and where. A lot of times we as women, men compete too in different ways and aspects. But a lot of times we as women think that another woman's light shining means mine isn't. I feel like if your light is shining and mine is too, baby, we both brighter together. We you know what I'm like, we out shining together. That's my mindset personally. And again, what's for me is for me. So your bright light can't take away from me no more than mine can take away from you. Come on, baby, let's shine. I've said this before and I so very mean it. I don't want to be the S in the room for nothing. I don't want to be the prettiest, the cutest, the smartest, the nothingest. I want us all to be ers. I want us to be elevating. We're trying to get better. We're trying to get cuter. We're trying to get smarter. You know what I mean? Like, I want that for all of us. I don't ever want to stand out in that way because who's my company? You know what I mean? Like that's that weird stuff. That's that freaking weird stuff. And I feel like I'm trying to finish my drink so I can go my buddy, and I'm probably getting long-winded. Got a lot of editing to do, gonna cut out a lot of parts. I guess healing, growth, whatever you want to call it, it's a beautiful thing. It's a good thing. It's growth. You know what I'm saying? But it's not free. Sometimes it costs you some of the people you used to know. Sometimes it costs you some of the relationships you had. It costs you some of the comfort that you felt. That's a beautiful bird. I already know if I turn my camera, it's gonna fly away. But sometimes it costs you those things that you were comfortable with or familiar with. In my case, personally, it cost me talking the way I used to talk. It cost me some of the people I used to know. You know what I mean? Like growing up in my family, shorts, for example. I saw a lady walk by in shorts, so I'm using her as an example. But shorts, for example, we didn't just call them shorts in my family. We called them short pantses. There was no R in short. You would probably spell it SHOTE, short, and pants would have an extra ES, short pantses. And I don't know, I just started noticing like the rooms I said I wanted to go into, and the people that I wanted to know, and the experience I wanted to have, they weren't saying show pantses in those rooms. I don't know if I shared this before, but I worked in a law firm before, and I dated a lawyer. I was courted by a judge. Come to find out he was married. He just never wore his wedding band. So I say courted by. I didn't end up going out with him. But I just know in those rooms, those people weren't saying show pantses and stuff like that. And I remember going and having this beautiful black gown. I ain't gonna lie, that gown was stolen. I wanted to be in those rooms yet. I hadn't earned that position yet. So I'm wearing this beautiful black gown, beautiful black stolen gown in this room. And I remember talking to myself before we walked into the ballroom. I was like, okay, Kymberly, this is it. This is what you've been working on, girl. Stand up tall, shoulders down, back, posture up, hold your chin up. You fit in this room, you belong in this room. Like I'm giving myself a pep talk. I'm like, girl, you have done the work. You have every right to be here as much as any and everybody else. Go in there and have the conversations and shine, girl. Like I'm really giving myself a pep talk. And so I go into the room and I did just that. I did not feel uncomfortable. I didn't have imposter syndrome. I saw another lady wearing the same gown I had on. It felt good. It felt like, dang, okay, I see me, I have arrived. And I know some people might think of that as fake. They might think of that as whatever, but I promise you, I see it as growth. I see it as healing from that little girl that I really never thought I'd have much or do much or go many places. I still haven't been to enough places. I haven't done enough things yet. But with that mystery travel trip, it was funny because the lady was naming some cities that could be my destination. And I was like, okay, I've been in New Orleans, I've been in Houston, I've been in Atlanta, I've been in Miami, I've been, like, as she was naming stuff, I was like, whoa, who would have thought that little girl sitting there talking about, that's my car, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and all of that stuff. Who would have thought? And to a lot of people, that's probably nothing. They've been to Singapore and Switzerland and Australia and, who knows, all the other places. They may have been to a lot of places, but I know exactly where I came from. I know exactly who I could be. I'm telling you, there, but by the grace of God. You know what I'm saying? Like, I grew up with my hood roots, and I'm not at all ashamed of it. Like, there's never been a time where I have pretended, darling, that I've never. Nope, I grew up straight up in the hood. Straight in the hood. Straight like that. I tell my kids that all the time. You can do better. You don't have to be your circumstance. You don't have to stay here. You can do more. You can do better. My ice done melted. It's hot out here. But, yeah. Heck yeah, I changed. Heck yeah, I changed. And what about that? What about that is wrong? I'll tell you what's very true to me, though. That person, she knew, I won't even say she was unhealthy or unhealed, but she was definitely unexperienced. She was unlearned. There was a lot that I wanted to know and learn and see and do and all of those things. And I hadn't done that yet. I was still in that place. What's crazy to me, see, it's so much stuff because it kind of sounds like judgment, but I promise you it's not. What's crazy to me is we were talking about the whole tonight's conversation thing. And she was like, yeah, I thought I was going to have to get on a plane or something and go to Atlanta. She thought tonight's conversation was solely filmed in Atlanta. She didn't know it was alive until her other friend had told her. And so she was like, I thought I was going to have to get on a plane and go to Atlanta. Her friend was like, girl, stop lying. You ain't never got on a plane before. I was like, dang, she ain't the only friend I grew up with who had never been on a plane, who had never traveled and done stuff. Like, I'm telling you, there, but by the grace of God, I'm sitting here now. Now, see, I really do think it's a bug. I really do. But I'm sitting here now thinking, where's my next solo trip going to be? There is something so beautiful and healing and connecting with God for me about a solo trip. Like, I'm telling you that the first solo trip I went on was Jamaica. I took y'all with me. Well, my first solo trip out of the country, I mean to say. was to Jamaica. I've done solo trips throughout the United States, and those are cool too. Yeah, it's time for me to go wrap this up, girl. But my first out of the country trip, solo trip, was Jamaica. And I loved it. I felt so connected with God. I felt so at peace. I still saw stuff I didn't like. I talked about it too, but I ain't gonna make y'all dig through the video. I talked about how there was this one girl, and it breaks my heart even thinking about it, because I know that girl thinks she went traveling with a friend. That's why it's important too to get rid of those dead weight so-called fake friends. But she's out there having the time of her life. She just dancing, lifts her leg and does her thing. And y'all, she had a tampon string that was hanging down. And I say this not to be vulgar, but I'm giving you the whole story. So she dancing, twerking, and has a tampon string hanging down. I was like, oh my goodness. And I look at her friend, and I'm waiting on her friend to tell her why her friend got her camera all up in there filming the girl. Like, and I ended up having to say something. Like, it was so hard, and I felt like I was the a-hole because this girl's having the time of her life, and I got to go over there and tell her, hey, your string is, not only do I have to go over there and tell her, but I would say she was probably 10 feet away from me. I'm not real good at measuring distance, but I would say I was much further from her than her friend. So if I saw it, I know her friend saw it. And I felt so bad telling her that, but I'm not going to let you keep doing that. And your friend is filming it. So it's important. What was that girl's name? Was it Shanquilla Robinson who went? I can't remember. She went to Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic. She went somewhere with a group of friends, and they took her life from her, because she had the nerve to shine or to be happy or to. I'm curious though. Have you ever had somebody tell you that you changed? And if they did, that they mean it in a positive way? Have you ever had somebody who had trouble with you once you changed or once you healed? Yeah, I'm nosy and curious about that. But I don't know. I want to have a conversation about that because I'm really hoping that this touches somebody. I'm hoping that it helps somebody. Let me put my phone away. Whoops. Cancel. Ain't nobody called no doggone Siri. Siri get on my nerve anyway. Half time when I call her, she want to send me over to her boyfriend Chat GPT or Chat GPT. There we go. I'm sick of that mess. I want to break up with Siri and her boyfriend. I ain't into that menage a trois.
Can I take you out tonight? To a movie, to the park. I'll have you home before it's dark.